Sheriff Todd Baxter, employees of the Mount Vernon Sheriff's Office. District Attorney Sandra Doorley, employees of the Mount Vernon District Attorney's Office. Alex Renzi, New York State Supreme Court. Paul C. Matson, James Riley Jr., Pennsylvania Court. My name is Chris Chichester. I live in Rochester, New York. I have been in jail 6 times, and 6 times a prosecutor at the District Attorney's Office of Sandra Doorley has not talked in court. What are the names of my prosecutors? District Attorney Doorley, and you have this information. Deputy District Attorney Perry Duckles, Assistant District Attorney Mark Monahan, Assistant District Attorney Michelle Crowley, Director of the Grand Jury. You have this information. Public Defender Julie Sianka, you have this information. Assistant Public Defender Mark Phillips. Send it to me. It's on the file. cchichester@gmail.com, 813-648-4441. You can call me on the phone. Christopher.chichester@mail.com, 620 Park Avenue, PMB, number 361, Rochester, New York, 14604. Send me the names of my prosecutors of silence, all those names I mentioned. So this is the Freedom of Information Law, dated this September 28, 2023. There are 17 in here. You freaks and sociopaths, the Sheriff's Office, District Attorney's Office, Pennsylvania Court, New York State Supreme Court, the freak Alex Renzi, who elevated me to him, will comply with 0. You're just forcing me into these corrupt judges that you don't know are corrupt because you're corrupt to summarily declare me guilty, where you smash my due process and my civil and constitutional rights into a million little pieces, and you move on to the next scale you're going to do this to. So this is the Freedom of Information Law. Again, I'll repeat things because corruption requires repetition on this September 28th. Freedom of Information Law. This is about the grand jury. Answering these questions, and I hope you don't direct to the grand jury, Michelle Crowley, because then I have a case that you can be disbarred. You're impaling these 18 to 24 anonymous idiots to target me. You want the stupidest people you can find so you can manipulate them into an indictment. And this is where Michael Houlihan, Todd Baxter, $73,000 cop freak, who walked onto the private property of my 70-year-old neighbor with $85,000 down Benedetto and hid. Can the cops walk onto private property anywhere in the United States of America and hide? Is that constitutional? I don't know. You do. Certainly employees I'm going to contact the United States Department of Justice, which I've already been in contact with, will be able to tell me an answer. Freedom of Information Law, September 28, 2023. Information about the grand jury convened by District Attorney Sandra Doorley to target Christopher Chichester. That is 1 day monthly. The grand jury is convened to the assigned District Attorney's Office employee to address the grand jury. 3 the witnesses that testified to the grand jury. 4 the vote of the grand jurors. 5 transcript of the grand jury proceeding. What's not to understand, Director of the Grand Jury, Michelle Crowley, and you do fail to understand what I just read. I will never know if you watch me. I only care about 10 individuals, to watch me. I don't give a shit if you watch me at the Sheriff's Office, District Attorney's Office, Pennsylvania Court, and Public Defender's Office. I don't care. I only care about the Department of Justice, the Office of Governor Kathy Hochul, and others. Michelle Crowley, send this to me. Here it is right here. The contact information I just said is right here on the file. And then you can contact me and tell me you want to get me in front of one corrupt judge, send me documentation where you don't have to talk to the District Attorney's Office so I can just be declared guilty of the latest fiction and lies from your corrupt, addled, sick brains. And you can put me in jail, deposit me in jail, where I'm not told how long I'm going to be in jail. So you have this. Send it to me, Michelle Crowley, and please don't. Because the Appellate Division of State Supreme Court is where an attorney is disbarred. When I contact them, I'm going to send this to you with your signature too, Michelle Crowley. And I'm going to send this to you repeatedly, Michelle Crowley, Director of Grand Jury, where your office is signing for it. I'm demanding this information. You're going to refuse time after time after time, and then I have a case you can be disbarred, Michelle Crowley. Todd Baxter is a violent freak, and he employs violent freaks. This is a violent freak who I wrote the criminal complaint about in July, Richard J. Siebel, who's looking at my front door, 26 Sanders Farm Drive. I don't know if it's the last time I leave my residence. Paul C. Mess was waiting for me in Pennsylvania Court just to declare me guilty of something she concocted, where the District Attorney's Office is not going to be present while I'm in front of her in 15 minutes after I leave my residence. Freedom of Information on the issuance of a new check to Christopher Chichester, address below for an expired check in the amount of $61.39 from the County Monroe Office of Sheriff. It may fund the account possess the dollar amount in the pocket of Chichester when he was violently attacked at Penn Public Library by 75904, which is JC, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. I sit down at the computer after I get a number immediately because they're stalking me. Richard J. Siebel and his psychopath partner walk in. I've had a previous confrontation with Siebel. He runs at me, slams his arm into the side of my head. It's the force of his arm hitting me in the head. I fell backwards, and then my head hit the ceramic tile. He should be in state prison for this. This is violent felony assault. If this is not violent felony assault, then the state legislature in Albany, Speaker Carl Heastie and Senate Majority Andrew Stewart Cousins need to change this law. And Todd Baxter, am I lying? Tell me I'm lying then. Because the only way he should not be arrested, prosecuted, jailed, and fired is if I'm lying. Tell me I'm a liar. Tell me this didn't happen. And send that money back to me. Pardon me, I try to control myself on here. And I will fail at it because of the hatred that consumes me for you, Sheriff Baxter, and you, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, and you, Alex Renzi, and you, Paul C. Metzer, and James Humilly Jr. So, this is why I have hatred. I have prosecutors that are prosecuting me in total silence. Is one of them Julie Hahn? This is the corruption of what exists in Monroe County. She's a judge in this Monroe County court. She's in there with 17% of the vote. If she had character integrity, which she doesn't, she would just reply to me. She got this on August 29th, registered mail return receipt. She could say to me, I'm not your prosecutor at the end of it. These judges believe that. And when they're on this court, any decision they make, they don't have to explain themselves from a goddamn thing. This is what I sent on August 29th. Julie Hahn, Monroe County Court, 99 Exchange Boulevard, Rochester, 14604. Are you the prosecutor unable to talk in Penfield Court for my appearance before $34,000 job appeal as a junior is delivered to Monroe County Jail? The 50-plus attacks for this good language I used for 18 months, demanding names of my prosecutor, also informed boss District Attorney Sandra Doorley. This nightmare for the citizens of Monroe County has refused every single time to honor the law, and that fact is why she's corrupt. No citizen should ever be deposited in jail when a prosecutor talk in court. I've been an inmate of Monroe County Jail, Livingston County Jail, total 6 times. 6 times a prosecutor in talk in court. That's insane. Then on this here, I have the links that I've sent to you since July 1. This is only since July 1. Names, hideous, averse, heinous. Corrupted Perry Duckles. I sent this to Perry Duckles, this TikTok app. I think that was in March. On TikTok, I'm talking directly to you. Or I sent to pduckles@monroecounty.gov telling you, Perry Duckles, to tell me, Chris Chichester, that names like prosecutors, it doesn't matter to you. You're indifferent. You're indifferent to justice. Deputy District Attorney Perry Duckles. So Julie Hahn, doesn't matter to Julie Hahn, who's in there presiding over murder trials, that if in fact it's her, then I went to jail before John P. Menzo Jr., and she did talk to court. So, Freedom of Information Law, all of these, September 28th, documentation of the case of Christopher Charles, Penfield Court for John P. Menzo Jr. What is the name of the prosecutor, Sandra? If it's not Julie Hahn, the freaking sociopath is right here, and you know the name Perry Duckles, and you know the name Mark Monahan, and you know the name Michelle Crowley, and you know the name Julie Sianka, and you know the name Mark Phillips. So this is the 5'2" 3-piece suit boy for Paul C. Metzer. He sent me to Livingston County Jail. Do you understand those names I just mentioned at the District Attorney's Office and Public Defender's Office? This is the taxpayer-financed public proceeding, where a taxpayer-financed public employee that's an assistant district attorney delivered me to jail in a county I don't live in Livingston County. And what's his name? Freedom of Information Law, documentation for the case of Christopher Charles at the Penfield Court for Paul C. Metzer. What is the name of the prosecutor stands for? This is the 5'2" 3-piece suit boy. This is the freaking sociopath that sent me to Livingston County Jail when he didn't utter one word as I'm in front of this $28,000 bald-headed widow, Paul C. Metzler, who doesn't know anything. These judges, which I said to Alex Renzi in New York Supreme Court, my exact language to Alex Renzi, you know nothing. And he doesn't correct me, this 70-year-old, $208,000 former employee of the District Attorney's Office. Say, yes, I do defend it, Chichester, and this is what I know. Alex Renzi knows nothing. Paul C. Metzler knows nothing. I'm violently attacked because you, Paul C. Metzer, you freak. I hope hell is 5,000 degrees for you. Just like I hope hell is 5,000 degrees for this $208,000 fossil. Freedom of Information Law, documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester, New York State Supreme Court for Alex Renzi. What is the name of the prosecutor, Sandra Doorley? The prosecutor I know is Sandra Doorley. But the prosecutor that's assigned to my appearance when I'm in there, because there were 2 females behind me, he said I was finished and done, and that's not true. The freaking sociopath is right here. The prosecutor, freaking sociopath that forced me to Alex Renzi is right here. So I'm in front of him, and he wants to give me a little lecture, Alex Renzi, where he, I think he said good luck or some throwaway language like that. And I left New York Supreme Court at 99 Exchange Boulevard. I'll be in front of him again. Because when I come here to YouTube, I blame you freaks and sociopaths, and all it takes is one sociopath at the District Attorney's Office to concoct some fiction that's a criminal charge, some fiction that's a warrant, or however it is you can get the handcuffs on me again. with a lie. So, who is it? Tell me who it is that forced me into house Renzi. Or you could tell me it's only him and you have nothing to do with it. And how's that constitutional? Is he just deciding at 99 Exchange Boulevard, where I hope there's not another riot, that he wants me in front of him and you don't know anything about it? The district attorney's office, I don't have a prosecutor? Given the lunatic fringe of what is Monroe County, what you think is justice, I won't be surprised if that's the case. So, this gets Lindsay Barron, the Monroe County Office of Mental Health, in my house. This foil here that I dropped off over a year ago, could be 18 months ago. John P. Lorenzo Jr., $34,000 psychopath, released Daniel DeLaus III. You know who he is at the district attorney's office. Who prosecuted him. Accused child rapist on Armitage Luster off 5 Mile Line in Penfield. When I would ride my bike down 5 Mile Line, I'd occasionally think about this case. Because when I would pass where he was arrested for, I believe it was solicitation of a minor or children or something like that, I would think they're not complying with my freedom of information law about Daniel DeLaus III. Paul C. Metzer, James P. Milley Jr. is an Office of Court Administration in Albany. When I contact the Office of Court Administration, this is how I will acquire these documents. And you're refusing to send to me. And I'm going to talk soon about that ridiculous search warrant, which I've been on here repeatedly about, that you typed in Penfield Town Court that is no probable cause, that gets $97,000, 40-plus pounds overweight fat girl, Lee LaRoque, into my residence at 26 Sanders Farm Drive when I'm in Livingston County Jail. She went nuts, tore the whole place apart, and took my Asa Chromebook out of my residence. Where's my Asa Chromebook, you 40-plus pounds overweight, $97,000 fat girl, Lee LaRoque? You better have it. Freedom of Information Law. The, quote, defective documents and, quote, for the case of Daniel DeLaus III for John P. Lorenzo Jr. in Penfield Town Court. Send it to me. I hope you don't. So, do you know what sexual harassment is? The sheriff's office and district attorney's office, you're animals. You're definitely engaged in what's commonly called sexual harassment. But I really have contempt when I hear that phrase because it doesn't define what it is. This is what sexual harassment is. It's almost always a man, 90% of the time, so I use a man. Man asking a woman out on what's commonly called a date over and over. She's under siege with no. It's a man with forcible touching in the office. She says, keep your hands to yourself. It's a man using disgusting, vile, sick language, oftentimes lady misogyny that makes it impossible to focus and concentrate. There's any number of ways this disgusting, sick, vile behavior destroys the soul. Do you have employees, the district attorney's office, the sheriff's office, that are responsible for destroying the soul? Freedom of Information Law. The cost of taxpayers from Monroe County Sheriff Todd Baxter spending taxpayer dollars set on employment-related discrimination lawsuits failure to comply with Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. This violent freaking psychopath, Todd Thurston, Michael Rather, Kathleen Miller, William Taddeo, right here, Richard J. Seidman, on the payroll, $75,904.40. I'm absolutely convinced right here, there's his name, that he's capable of sexual harassment. And I would not be surprised if he has engaged in this behavior. Todd Baxter is refusing to answer because Todd Baxter is contempt for the law. So, he should be fired immediately. I wrote the criminal complaint. Am I lying? Freaks and sociopaths, district attorney's office. Is that why Richard J. Seib is not arrested, prosecuted, fired? It must be because I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. When it's the absolute truth. There are witnesses at this Penfield Town Court. I saw him again when you freaks and sociopaths at the sheriff's office arrested me for double jeopardy. I'm not going to talk about that now. But I have previously. I'm going to be back on here in 7 days. I hope. Talk about double jeopardy. Ridiculous. From Michael Houlihan. I'm in jail twice because of lying cop break perjurer Michael Houlihan said I swung a hammer at him on my back porch in Penfield. So, same thing for the district attorney's office. The cost freedom of information law, this is September 28th. The cost of taxpayers from Monroe County District Attorney Sandra will expended taxpayer also employment-related discrimination lawsuits fail to comply with Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So, here's the payroll for the district attorney's office. On it is Martha B. Colburn, 83-32626. You, Sandra Doorley, cared about sexual harassment, and your employees at the district attorney's office. You would call Martha B. Colburn into your office and ask her if she's ever been sexually harassed to have a conversation with her. And there's a difference between Martha B. Colburn, 82-32626, and Sherry L. Crandall at 42-691 because that $40,000 difference is a power disparity within the district attorney's office. Somebody who makes more money, has more power, more resources, more control to fend off sexual harassment. So, what's the answer? As far as sexual harassment, you refuse to answer because you're corrupt. So, I believe that this can remove you from office. So here's the payroll. This next form I'm going to read. I'm going to show you on here So you have Jennifer Farina, $116,000 Todd Baxter, which is just $16,000 less than you. Can Jennifer Farina exceed $200,000 with overtime and time and a half? How many employees are paid overtime? I believe the answer is every single one. What time and a half, however it's done, how it's calculated, because it can be calculated in different ways. There was no overtime when I worked for Senate Majority Leader Ralph Marino and Governor George Pataki in Albany. There was no overtime when I worked for Congressman Lamar Smith and Senator Lippy Stone, Washington, D.C. Do you know why? Because elected officials at that level do not want the political liability of their employees being in the news media, fleecing taxpayers with overtime and time and a half for money that's beyond their base salary. You are fleecing taxpayers with overtime, time and a half, and money that's on base salary. Sheriff Todd Baxter and District Attorney Sandra Doorley, for the simple reason that you're corrupt and you're going to withhold this information from me. And that's why this is called simply withholding. Every single foil, every single piece of information I'm demanding, you will refuse. Withholding information from a citizen using a legally binding document that's a Freedom of Information law is corruption. Freedom of Information law, this is September 28, 2023. Total cost of overtime, time and AFL paid down on base house calculated at the Montgomery Sheriff's Office, Todd Baxter. So as I just showed you there, that Jennifer Farina, 116, should be paid more money than you, 130. I believe that she is paid more money than you, 130. So here we have another, the same salary, 116, these bizarre salaries. How do you do your salaries? Thomas B. DiNapoli can force an answer from you, the Control of State of New York. Kenneth M. Schreiner, 116,351 and 16 cents. Can he be paid $200,000 or more with time and a half and overtime? And what's the answer, Sheriff Todd Baxter? So, same thing for district attorney. He doesn't know if she's a Democrat or Republican, just like this bald-headed Benito Mussolini clone, Todd Baxter. You'll say anything. You're driven by a disgusting, sick ambition that once you get to the goal you've achieved, which is sheriff and district attorney, destroys you. Freedom of Information law. Total cost of overtime, time and a half, how paid on a base salary is calculated at the Montgomery District Attorney's Office, Sandra Doorley. So here is the payroll for the District Attorney's Office. Elizabeth Buckley, 104,474.88. Did you get that packet I sent you, Elizabeth Buckley, via UPS? Document after document after document. Elizabeth Buckley, Director of the local courts. I'm telling you to do a simple thing. Disclose the names of my prosecutors. If you had a friend or family member, $104,000 Elizabeth Buckley in jail without a prosecutor talking in court, what would you think about that? Because I could tell you what you should think, but you could tell me, and you could contact me, Elizabeth Buckley. Elizabeth Buckley, Director of Local Courts. How am I in jail when a prosecutor doesn't talk in court? You also know Elizabeth Buckley, the state of sexual harassment. It's commonly called sexual harassment at the District Attorney's Office. So, total cost of overtime, time and a half, I'll pay on a base house calc at the Montgomery District Attorney's Office, San Joy. Corruption requires repetition. That's why I repeat certain things. What's the answer? So, my former employers, United States Senate, United States House of Representatives, passed in 1996 the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act to properly protect healthcare records. My healthcare records, Todd Baxter, Sheriff of Monroe County, are not properly protected when you gave them to this $28,000 psychopath, Paul C. Metzer, on Penfield Court. Because I'm taken from Monroe County Jail to a place in Elmwood Avenue where a doctor doesn't examine me. And then when a real doctor, Dr. Jeremy Smith, examined me, he released me. So there I am languishing in this place in Elmwood Avenue with a man named John. His exact words for me is, we're in a concentration camp. This man named Victor is drooling on himself. There are elderly women walking around in there in their nightgowns. It's a nightmare. When I was on the cross-country team in high school, meets would be at Sunken Meadow State Park in Kings Park. And the bus would drive by a place just like this, that you could see from mile 2 on the cross-country course at Sunken Meadow State Park. And my teammates, when we walk the course, when we'd be at Sunken Meadow, would occasionally talk about it, like 17-year-old boys and 16-year-old boys talk about things they don't understand. Now I understand a place like this. How does Paul C. Messer know I was in a place like this, Todd Baxter? Because you violated federal law. I believe this is a violation of federal law. Not state something that I believe is a fact. I'll say I don't know. I believe this is a violation of federal law. Todd Baxter, why does Paul C. Messer, $28,000 judge on court in Penfield, New York, know I was at this place in Elmwood Avenue where I'm not examined by a doctor? Because you gave her my healthcare records. Freedom of Information law. Copy of the private healthcare records linked to $28,000 Penn Court Judge Paul Seaman, that's by Sheriff Todd Baxter in violation of the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996. I hate to use this word because I know you can embarrass and humiliate me, but it's the truth. Surveillance device, phrase I should say, not word. Here it is right here. That's 2025 Penfield Row for a business called Consumer Insights, where Elliot Ross is the president. When I came outside to tell Steve Desmond that nobody owns the land next to my residence, this freak Shannon Meyer ran into my backyard, fell down on her face. There's this Monroe County Sheriff Office freak Shannon Meyer laying in my backyard dirt just for telling a man on his track that nobody owns the land next to my residence. He take me downtown, put me in a holding cell, and then the Monroe County Sheriff Office employee came to me with his phone with a gruesome smile and said, I want to show you something. I'm outside, and that's how I know my right arm is moving, because I'm on this camera called a surveillance device. Is this not a surveillance device? You already told me it's not a surveillance device, Todd Baxter, because you're calling this mental health bureaucrat Renzi Barrett upon me. It is, because the public defender's office sent me the images. And I'm communicating with you on this January 16, 2023. Todd Baxter, Sheriff 130 South Plymouth Avenue, Rochester, New York. This photograph is why I'm a fanatic. This photograph is why I'm extremist. This photograph is why I'm a liar. This photograph is why I'm the known name. You're $67,000 disgusting head Shannon Meyer. This photograph is why people hate the police. You will never know why people hate the police, Todd Baxter. If you were asked why don't people hate the police, you know what your answer is going to be. It's going to be that ridiculous rambling. We refuse to answer a question. So I don't have a photograph here because I'm going to get on with it. But you took a picture of your employees underwater in pool, Todd Baxter. Hold up a photograph, then I want to talk about it for 5 minutes. Ridiculous lunatic friends. The cost of photography session approved by Monroe County Sheriff Todd Baxter. Photo of 10 Monroe County Sheriff Office employees underwater in the pool. When your employees are underwater in the pool, Todd Baxter, they're not on North Clinton Avenue where violence is crashing down and raining down in Monroe County. You're watching the trial of Kelvin Vickers, who murdered 29-year veteran, the Rochester Police Department, Anthony Mazurka was murdered. He walked right up to him and assassinated him right in his vehicle. This Kelvin Vickers. And I say this because I'm absolutely convinced he did the crime, given the evidence. When your employees are underwater in a pool, Todd Baxter, when Ryan Fisher in Atlanta, Georgia, when Corey Brown and Michael Fowler in Saratoga, when you're testifying before the House Rules Committee, no Monroe County Sheriff Office employees on North Clinton Avenue, because I've been out there over and over and over on my bike for a run. I'm not going to be in fear and avoid North Clinton Avenue just because it's violence out there. I have never once seen a Monroe County Sheriff Office vehicle out there. Why? You know what used to be in that area? Silver Stadium, when the Rochester Red Wings played. It's been raised. I think it was raised in 1996. I think it was raised for a number of reasons, probably having to do with the team. I think the Baltimore Orioles was the Philly because Cal Ripken played there. I would really like to know if team officials thought there's no way we could play out here in this area with all this violence, but I don't know. So, Ryan Fisher, Atlanta, Georgia. Application to access records to September 28th. The cost for hotel and plane ticket for Monroe County Sheriff's Office employee Ryan Fisher attended the Super Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia, February 3rd, 2019. This is why you corrupt. He's standing in front of Mercedes-Benz Stadium with his canine dog, this German Shepherd Lola. How much was the plane ticket? Did he fly first class down to Atlanta, Georgia, Todd Baxter, and gouging taxpayers for $1,000? I don't fly. I've not flown since I went to the 1996 Republican National Convention in San Diego, California, because I am really afraid to fly. So I don't know the cost of plane tickets, because I have not flown in 25 plus years since I went to San Diego. How much was the plane ticket for him? Could it be more than $1,000 just for the plane ticket? I don't know. Did he stay in some 4-star hotel, or did he stay in some rundown Motel 6? I don't know. You know. Freedom of Information Law. So, Alex Renzi, when I used to walk by the Supreme Court, when I worked in the Russell Center office building for Sarah Olympia Snow, I would think about the court and what has happened in the 20-plus year history of the court. And I think about the clerks, because a friend of mine, whose name was Greg Watt, knew some of the clerks. Clerks run the whole place, Supreme Court. I'm convinced the clerks run Alex Renzi, which I'm going to eventually say to him. I've not written it in the documentation I've sent to him. I have not told him, your clerks run you, but I will, because I'm trying to rage this fossil. And I'll be in jail again before him. When I tell him in writing, the clerks run you, Alex Renzi, he's going to want to send me to jail because he's a psychopath. That's why. Freedom of Information Law. The names and salaries of a public employee in the New York State Supreme Court under Supervisor Judge Alex Renzi, 99 St. Boulevard, Rochester, New York, 14614. So when I went to Penfield Court to drop off a FOIL about the defective documents for Daniel DeLouse III, this is his old lady behind the window. I say, my name's Chris Chichester. Here's a FOIL. I want to see the defective documents. I go home, and that gets this mental health bureaucrat, Renzi Barrett, to my house. So the old lady, Paul C. Metz and James Young Jr., $28,000, $34,000. Is the old lady at the window at Penn Court pay more money than you two freaks on Penn Court? Freedom of information law. The name, salary of every public employee at Penn Court. Does the old lady at the window receive more pay in tax dollars than $28,000 posting? That's $34,000 James Jr. How do you allow yourselves, the district attorneys, to go in there and grovel before these two hacks that are in there with 5,000 votes who don't know anything? It's an assembly line of guilt in that Penn Court. Guilty, 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 guilty. Everybody's guilty, and they don't give a damn about the facts and circumstances about anything. So this is the last one, the contract for your weapons. I'm confident the contract for your weapons can remove you from office, Todd Baxter. Freedom of information law. The contract signed by Sheriff Todd Baxter to purchase firearms from Montgomery Sheriff Office employees to include 1, the name of the firearms contract, 2, the number of firearms purchased, 3, total amount of taxpayer dollars spent to purchase firearms. What's not to understand? I'm not trying to engage in any type of exaggeration, be hysterical when I say that foil I just read about your weapons can remove you from office. You not only have the handguns, you got the long guns, you got the rifles, I believe you even have machine guns, you have an arsenal. You have to have an arsenal because it's a real crime. Like what happened 10 plus years ago with the West Webster Police Department is William Spangler. I don't know if you were on the scene there, employees of the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, Todd Baxter was yet to be the sheriff. But there is real violence, like what I just described, what happened with the West Webster Fire Department. I lived in Webster when that happened. And when there's real violence like that, North Clinton Avenue, West Webster, violence every day in the city of Rochester. The freaks are everywhere outside screaming at each other. You're concocting crimes and fiction for me. My 50th birthday on July 4, 2015, the reason why I have a speeding ticket in Albany, New York that was dismissed in court, and a speeding ticket in Washington, D.C. that was dismissed in court, because I've always known what constitutes a crime. My whole life I've known it. You don't know what constitutes a crime. It's the sheriff's office and the district attorney's office. And that's a disgrace. So you have every single one of these 17 Freedom of Information Law documents that I just read, and every single one you refuse to comply with is going to be 0. See this ring I'm wearing here? When I was in high school, I used to go see my uncle in Staten Island. He was a New York City police officer, Thomas Valentine Hennessy, and he wore a ring on his pinky finger like this. I wanted to be like my uncle. My uncle taught me how to read daily race reform. He used to take me to Aqueduct in Belmont. Nephews love their uncles as much, if not more so, than their fathers, because your uncle really will let you do things your father will never let you do. My father would never take me to Aqueduct in Belmont and teach me how to bet and handicap, and that's why I love horse racing. So I wear this on my finger to think about my uncle. I bought this recently within the last 6 months. I had a box of rings since high school, 15 to 20 rings, including a ring I'd wear on this finger, specifically to think about my uncle, Thomas Valentine Hennessy of Staten Island. That's gone because of my illegal eviction by 80-year-old Antonino Spano of Fairport, New York, who locked the doors and locked me out without a court order, and that's a crime. And that criminal complaint arrived in your office in July, because here it is right here, July 22nd, 2023. Antonio Spano, Fairport, New York, locked the front and back doors of the residence, 26 Sandra Drive in Penfield, without a court order. So it's not good enough for me to just write it down and have you freaks and sociopaths understand it. I swore that he did this right here before Christopher Price, the Monroe Branch, Rochester Public Library. Antonio Spano, Fairport, New York, locked the front and back doors of the residence, 7 years, 26 Sandra Drive, Penfield, New York, without a court order. Why hasn't he been arrested? And he hasn't been arrested. Now, 1 day in jail from this 80-year-old man who hates human beings, because you hate human beings, the district attorney's office, sheriff's office. And as far as, there's my signature right there. You see my signature? This is me telling you freaks and sociopaths, the district attorney's office, the sheriff's office, and 80-year-old Antonino Spano committed a crime and locked the doors and locked me out of my residence for 8 years, the 26 Sanders Farm Drive in Penfield, New York, without a court order. And he will not be arrested because it's ridiculous broken English that he uses where he pretends he doesn't understand things, because you do that to me. So the other criminal complaints on here that you also have, that I also sign my name to and notarize with Christopher Price, the Rochester Public Library. There were 4 other complaints. 5 criminal complaints I sent to your office. Every single one of these freaks is a criminal. Every single one of these freaks will escape justice raining down upon them, which is jail. Freedom of Information Law. That Richard J. C. the Montgomery Sheriff's Office walked into the Public Library, ran into Christopher Chichester, slammed his arm in the head of Chichester, causing him to fall backwards and hit his head on the ceramic tile floor. Nairaj and Lily Coupon shot 2033 Pemphill Road, 14526. False reporting incident. Christopher Chachas, 26 Sandra Drive, walked through the park line next to his residence. Laura Riley Webster, New York, transported person belonging to Christopher Chachas, 26 Sandra Drive, Pemphill Road, to storage locker in Webster without a court. And then I write here, these are crimes. Each individual will not be arrested or prosecuted. There is a 1 day in jail served for these crimes. I've destroyed my life because you're incapable of identifying crime. You can't cross for an instance. You hate human condition. Then I'm telling you right here, 113-918-42 Perry Douglas, 112-508-75 Mark Monahan. These are crimes. Doesn't matter to you. This insane destruction of my life that begins with me walking through a parking lot with this Nairaj shot screaming at me. People walk through that parking lot today. It is 9:07 right now. All day long, people will walk through that parking lot. This Nairaj shot, this freak who lives with his mother, this 50-year-old freak, is going to look at people walking through that parking lot. If he's outside and home, he's not going to go to the sheriff's office. It's only for me. So where's my 14th Amendment right to equal protection of the laws? So, Michael Hulan is a perjurer. So here, this is Richard J. Seaman. I swore my name to this, that he attacked me at the Pembroke Public Library. Do you know why I swore my name to this, that he attacked me at the Pembroke Public Library? Because there's my signature right there. Do you understand what I'm talking about? That that's a crime? He will attack other citizens, this violent criminal, Richard J. Seaman. I guarantee it. Michael Riley, Kathy Miller, William Tadeo, Scott Alberti, Richard J. Seaman is a violent criminal freak. And when this happens, I'll say I told you so, because he could possibly be in the media. That's what I mean when I told you so. So here it is right here from Nairaj and Lily Kumar shots 50-year-old man lives with his 7-year-old mother going to the sheriff's office. Me walk through park without anybody else. Right there. I swore my name to this, saying that this is a crime. Do you know why? Because Christopher Price, the Rochester Public Library, that's my signature. I'm telling you with my signature, no drive by Christopher Price, that it's a crime for Nairaj Shah to go to the sheriff's office about me walking through a parking lot I've walked through 4,000 times because it's false reporting an incident or something that's similar to false reporting an incident, and that's a crime. Pembroke High School students in a red athletic apparel walk through that parking lot all day long. He's not going to the sheriff's office. If I'm arrested in the handcuffs for walking through that parking lot, a Pembroke High School student in red athletic apparel should be in handcuffs walking through the parking lot. That's the lunatic fringe. I have the same 14th Amendment right as a Penfield High School student. So here's a criminal complaint. I just read about Anthony O'Spano. They're opening locked doors, locking me out. Do you not understand that I'm swearing that this is a crime? You could charge me with a crime for falsely reporting this. So go ahead and do that. If they're not going to be arrested or falsely reporting incident, arrest me, charge me. Go ahead. If they're not arrested, every single one of these criminals with a criminal complaint arrived in July, I'm filing a false police report, which is a crime. So there it is right there. Laura Riley, Webster, New York. There it is right there. Laura Riley, Webster, New York. Again, I have these freaks outside this door. If somebody knocks on that door, some freak that wants to talk to me. So on here, Michael Hulan, the perjurer. There's the language for Michael Hulan. Walking onto private property of my neighbor. Michael Hulan, the perjurer, right here. There's the criminal complaint from me from Michael Hulan. I'm saying he lied when he's in the grand jury when he said I swung a hammer at him, Michelle Crowley. So this is me. This is me swearing that I didn't swing a hammer at Michael Hulan. There's my signature right here. Michael Hulan's a perjurer. He should be fired immediately. This is me telling you, director of the grand jury, Michelle Crowley, and everybody at the district attorney's office, that Michael Hulan and Don Benedetto are free cops that walked onto the private property of my 70-year-old neighbor, ran at me in the middle of the night, and Michael Hulan went back to the Jonestown, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, and lied when he said I swung a hammer at him. So, this arrived in the office, this psychopath's right up here. This here, you have the registered mail return receipt. So the parking lot that you freaks and sociopaths can walk through is right here. Nairaj shows up right here. I'm coming back. Goldstein Fairport starts to scream at me. He goes to the sheriff. When Nairaj Shaw goes to the sheriff about me walking through this parking lot in Pembroke, New York, and not anybody else, that's a crime. Todd Baxter driving over the wagons. Ridiculous. So, now, right here, sexual harassment. I demanded this in April. When I just read here about sexual harassment, it says right up here, sexual harassment, Sheriff Todd Baxter, District Attorney Sandra, Judge Alex Renzi. So, You public defender, Julie Sianka, the public defender, she's sending my mail back to me. Public defender, Julie Sianka, why are you sending my mail back to me? And here's the freedom of information law demanding you, public defender Julie Sianka, and your $140,000 salary to tell me the names of my prosecutors. Mark Phillips and your $87,000 salary. What is wrong with you, Mark? SUNY Fidelity, you right? All you had to do was tell me the names. You wouldn't hear from me again. Over and over and over, I'm telling you. Disclose the names of my prosecutors. The freaks and sociopaths. Prosecuting me total silence right here. Tell me the names of the freaks and sociopaths. Prosecuting me total silence. The Monroe County District Attorney's Office, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, and you will hold that information because you're corrupt. My name is Christopher Rochester. I live in Rochester, New York. I have been an innocent man my whole life.